Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to the Cliff Notes for lecture number 6, Psychiatric and Psychological Causes of Criminal Behavior. Keep in mind that I'm making a distinction between the brain and the mind with this lecture, and the mind is essentially a collection of your perceptions of the world, how you fit into that world, and essentially how you perceive things to be. Perception is a really big part of this, especially when it comes to the end of that lecture when I'm talking about antisocial personality disorder. So keep in mind, I'm introducing by talking about the insanity plea, how that there are some in our criminal justice system that cannot be held legally accountable because they do not know the difference between right and wrong. Also keep in mind that 99% of people who plead insanity, it doesn't work because anybody can fake being crazy. Only works about 1% of the time. And so the reading for today talks about the human psyche, the structure and formation of the human psyche. Very Freudian. Sigmund Freud has a very mixed career. Today's standards would have been considered to be a very perverse man, but he has to be given credit for his work on the id, the ego, and the superego. And that superego is really important because it's the moral police. It's what tells us the difference between right and wrong. There's a riddle that says a man goes to a funeral, sees a woman that he's very much attracted to, and he wants to talk to her, but before he works up the nerve, she leaves. And so he kills her brother. Why? Right? So for that riddle, the answer is that by killing her brother, he will be guaranteed to see her again. Now you understand the mathematical, cold, rational mathematical thought behind that process. And the voice that's supposed to step in and say to an individual, let's not kill people in order to set up a date. That's the function of the superego, is that moral police to tell us what is the difference between right and wrong, not necessarily how to get from point A to point B. So please pay attention to the video. I'm Richard Kuklinski. I wanted to show you an example of somebody who may have a very underdeveloped superego. And then please pay attention to the discussion questions. These things are worth 10% each of the grade. Please do them. Essentially there's discussion of Freudianism, and there's also the discussion of antisocial personality disorder. And keep in mind that the personality is a collection of your dispositions in this world. And if you have a certain collection of dispositions, that may add up to antisocial personality disorder. This is not something that can be done through a blood test or anything like that. But generally speaking, if you have antisocial personality disorder, it's kind of dominated by the fact that A, you believe that the world is against you, and also something that adds up to antisocial personality disorder is the fact that you as an individual may have, you don't care for the rights of others. Combination of those two things can be very dangerous. So please pay attention to the assignments for this week. Please pay attention to the fact that the Create Your Own Prison System paper is due at the end of this week. Please submit on Moodle. There is a portal on Moodle to submit that paper. And please ask me any questions that you have by email. I'll be available. So thank you very much for your time, guys.